Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Refugee to Industrial Regent. Last episode I built the watchtower most of the way. Now I did make some changes, more than a few changes off camera. First off, the top few blocks of those retaining walls I actually replaced with stairs. I felt it looked a little bit too blocky as it was before, and I think I made the right call here. Now the roof at the very top, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but I can't say I like how the top looks at this point. But that's a project for another day, probably for another stage. Also went ahead and built out a little bit more of the retaining walls. Set up some fences up here. Turned this into a little patio area. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish off the watchtower with some simple furnishings. But first, let me show you what I did to the interior. First, I dug out some windows, 2 in this room, none in this room. I went ahead and built a floor up here and got rid of the, barricades there. So I only put the barricades up there. And then I also extended this column all the way up to the very top, instead of stopping it below this floor here. And with that, it's time to completely furnish this. Now, this upper area here is a very nice lookout. It's perfectly suited for that, and this is actually what makes this the watchtower. Now, this area here is usable space, and I'm going to go ahead and put a bed here for the watchman, so that the watchman will have a place to sleep. Down here, I'm actually going to go ahead and put a double chest here, just the one for now. I might put one symmetric on this side later on, but it's not an immediate priority. And then up here, I'm going to go ahead and take this fence, the oak wood plank, 2 more fences, and the zombie head on top, and now this becomes effectively a practice dummy, which makes this a practice room. And with this, the watchtower is now furnished, and I can now count it against my stage completion requirements. So, let us now return to my house here. Back into the storeroom, because I'm going to swap things out a bit. First off, I don't need the axes, but I do need the pickaxes and the shovels. And I'll leave 1 in reserve. I think I'm overkill by 1. Wait a minute, that was the wrong shovel. Okay. And if you look at the mob indicators on my mini-map, you do see that there are some mobs around here, but they're not on the surface, which suggests that somewhere underground, probably around, I see more than a few here from time to time. In fact, I think this was where that spider was all the way back in episode 1. I don't know if any of you remember the spider from episode 1, the one I could never find. But what I'm going to do is, and this is probably going to be one of the stupidest things I could do this entire series, I'm actually going to try to dig into it. Now, I don't want to dig too far down. I'm going to dig down, let's say y equals 60. And make sure I light up the tunnel I dig along the way. Maybe I'll go 56. I don't want to go too much deeper than y56. Put another torch down. Now, I'm wondering if this isn't indicative of a cavern. Or is this just some randomly placed red sandstone? It's probably the latter. So let's go down 2 more blocks. There we go. And now I'm going to dig straight across. It looks like there's a cavern not very far. In fact, let me zoom in on my mini-map here. Yeah. Well, in terms of location, it's right in front of me. The question is it above or below? I do see iron, but a wooden pickaxe cannot pick it up. I'll have to wait until the next stage. But anyway, let's see here. Dig out the stone just a little bit further, and with any luck, I'll run into it. The reason I'm trying to dig into this cavern is so that I can get some more gravel. Yeah, it's looking unlikely. So I'm probably at the wrong level, and I would go so far as to say I'm probably above that cavern. So put a torch there to dig down, and I have to jut a little bit to the left to be able to dig around that amber-bearing stone. Okay, I shouldn't be too far, I wouldn't think. Copper. Wait a minute, did I dig down past it? I dug past it. So let's go from here, I suppose. Because this should be in line, I would think. Well, something in here has to be in line with this cave I'm seeing. Let me put a torch down there so that mobs don't spawn there. I see a cave. Well, so much for that. I'll probably dig some more probing tunnels off camera. The bottom of the staircase as it is right now is as low as I can safely go at this stage. But I shall return once I have A, dug into that cave, B, collected some gravel, and C, made my way out to the site for my next project. Alright, I am back, and while for you it may have been mere moments since I left you, for me it has been literally hours. I'm going to go ahead and lay down a workbench here. Now, I am not in my capital. I'm actually in what will be my first outpost once I complete all the buildings with it. And I set the crafting table down temporarily so that I hopefully won't have to run back to base quite as much to complete this project. And I'm going to start here with the granary. I'm going to go ahead and take these better barrels and just lay them on top of each other like so. I've only got 3 for the moment. I'll probably get more off camera to finish up the job. Let me think here. Should probably go ahead and get the oak wood. I did not want that there, but oh well. Let's get the spruce wood back on the hotbar. And I'll finish laying the structure around this here granary. And I think I'm going to go ahead and set up that doorway there so I can put this line of spruce like so. Et voila. And now all I need is to put a roof on it. So now I want to make sure that I can get up to the roof. That works. Go ahead and put one more down there. Now I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, place the slabs like so. I'm trying to think here. See if, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that works. That looks not too bad. For the moment, at least. Yeah, that'll work for me. And rather than putting another plank in the middle, I'm actually just going to go ahead and put the log up so that the support column extends all the way to the ceiling, or as close as I can get to the top of the roof. Now, it's not perfect visually, but this is a very simple granary, which frankly needs more barrels. But I'll take care of that off camera. So, part 2, the ranch house. And really, I have 2 more structures very similar down there. It's kind of arbitrary which one is the ranch house and which 2 are the farmhouses, but I think it'll be better to have the 2 farmhouses closer to the fields, which I'm putting there near the water line, while the ranch house up here is probably going to be closer to the animal pens, which I'm probably going to put, say, around here. And maybe over there a little bit. Haven't quite decided yet. Alright. So now it's time to complete the spruce wood support structure for this building. And I did harvest quite a bit of wood off camera. Also tried to gather some more gravel. Oddly enough, I've not had a lot of luck getting gravel, for whatever reason. But oh well. And while I'm up here, I don't have enough of these, do I? So let's go ahead and place some scaffolding here. I'm thinking I didn't want this 5th one. Yeah, but that's alright. So let's see here. Something tells me that won't quite be enough, will it? No, it won't be enough. I do have torches. I do need to light up this area a bit, but I'm not going to be too quick to do that. Oh yeah, I am. Yeah, see, that's me out of the half slabs. So let's go ahead and do that to get more half slabs. Man, am I glad I brought the crafting table with me. And sure, I may want to consider a more permanent solution to the idea of having to bring a crafting table with me whenever I start work on an outpost. But for now, actually bringing the crafting table with me is not the worst way to go. Now the bad news is, sundown is fast approaching. Let me go ahead and actually delete that, because that's not what I want. Might as well grab that as well while I'm at it. Yeah, like so. Yeah, and one there. Let's see. And then this goes like so. Of course, this whole floor is dark. But the room is just big enough that I can light it with a single torch, which is actually kind of cool. The bad news is I get the sinking feeling. Let me put some lights up around this granary to try to light up this roundabout a little bit. Yeah, so it's imperfect. And unfortunately, it being a nightfall, I don't know if it's necessarily going to be safe for me to continue working around here for much longer. But at least the structure of this is completed. So I'm going to go off camera, head home, sleep through the night, return, I'm probably going to go ahead and complete the structures on the other two and sort out, furnishings for these houses, and then I will return. Alright, off camera, I've gathered a little bit more wood, gotten myself some doors and a bed for each of these houses. Now, I want the front room of each of these houses to be a living room. The problem is that anything that can be used for seating requires wool. And after making the 3 beds, I have no wool left. So it's time, I think, to actually set up a place for sheep to graze. And I don't know exactly how big the sheep pasture is going to end up being. Let me take a look here. All right, I think I want to start off not too far from the ranch house here, so that our rancher doesn't have far to go. Now let me think here. I'm going to go ahead and use this as a sort of mini road. And yeah, this actually makes a fair bit of sense. So I'm probably just going to go ahead and put... Yeah, let's go ahead and put my fences up here, and then here, put the gate there. 2, 3, 4, put the gate there. I'll open up both gates for the time being. Let's see, give myself a little bit of dirt so I can sort of... make this look a little bit less derpy. Actually, that might not be desirable. Let me check. No, wait, I am going to need the extra 1. So let's go ahead and set that up like so. Let's see here. Alright. And then this is going to be a 3-wide road coming out of here. And this is eventually going to connect to my main village. And speaking of my main village, I have given some thought as to naming schemes for this kingdom. And as far as the names of cities, I'm thinking of taking the names from the Byzantine Empire, of all things. Yeah, Byzantine cities. Byzantine city names will be the names of my cities here. So, the key question then, let's see, this is where this is going to go. So I'm probably going to cut that there and make this, I think, my sheep farm / pasture. Ooh. I actually don't have a lot of room, do I? This isn't... I'm not convinced this will be enough. No, this definitely won't be enough space. I need to take this minimum 2 more out. Okay. How about 3? There we go. Now let's get rid of the fences that I had placed where I didn't want the fences to actually be. And actually, I might just go ahead and truncate this to here. Yeah. Give a sense there. And then just dig out a little bit of a stub to mark where the road's going to go once I get the resources to complete it. Because there's no chance that 52 gravel is going to get me all the way to Byzantium. Yes, I know the capital of the Byzantine Empire was known as Constantinople during the life of the Byzantine Empire, but to avoid potential issues with that name, I'm just going to call it Byzantium. Hope you don't mind. Alright, there we go. Now this is a little bit better in terms of space. It's not huge, but it should be up to the task. And now I'm going to do much the same thing on this side. Now, except that I'm actually going to cut this off a little bit further this way, simply so I don't end up quite so close to the ranch house. Now, I do have the advantage on this side in that I've got a little bit more terrain to work with, and the disadvantage of having run out of shovel. So I'm having to dig this grass up by hand. So let me go ahead and finish digging this up. Yeah, there we go. Something like that will work. It's not going to be perfect. In particular, spiders can still get in here, and I think Endermen will still be able to teleport in here, but by and large, I don't think it's a huge deal. Now I just have to decide how far out I want to go this direction. Let's see, I don't want to go too much bigger than the sheep farm, so that looks pretty good. It'll be better, of course, once I get the rest of this dirt cleared out. And yes, off camera I'm going to be populating my 2 pens so that I can get, so I can start animal breeding and get the resources from the animals. Let me finish getting this grass here. Et voila. And yeah. And okay, so the cow pen's going to be a lot bigger than the sheep pen, and that's, again, just a function of, layout. But there is one more thing I can do while I'm here. I hope the lack of a shovel doesn't come to work against me. Okay, let me think here. So I want to go like so, and then a fence there. So I'm going to go ahead and dig this out 4 this way. Place down my blocks and my fences, and I'll go ahead and put a fence there on top of that just so that mobs aren't able to use that to get into my farm. Break that block, and I now have a water channel. And then I'm going to go ahead and put a torch there. Let's see. Now, unfortunately, I can't place this channel until I get this ice melted. So it's going to be an exercise, I think, to see if that ice will melt with the torch there. That said, I think I'm going to go ahead and dig this up a bit this way. Let me think. Now I have the channels that will end here. So the wood is going to go here. And I'm probably going to go ahead and put some spruce wood columns in the corner there. Alright, go ahead and put a torch there to help melt that a bit. Go ahead and put a wooden plank there. I'm going to break up the rest of this ice here so that I can finish laying down this course of wooden planks. Break the misplaced wooden plank. Of course I'm going to have misplaced wooden planks. Okay, so you can see that broke that ice, which is okay. Now I'm only going to go, I think, that far so as to ensure that I don't have a problem with that block of ice when it finally does melt. Go ahead and lay down more of the fences, and haven't completely decided what I'm going to do. Actually, I probably shouldn't place the fences on this side. And I'm going to do something a little bit unconventional here, but being as it is nightfall, and being as I've got beds right here, I'm just going to sleep here. Spend the night in my agricultural village, which I will give a name off camera. Remind me to make some signs when I go off camera. Let me go ahead and place down this dirt here, and then I'm going to go ahead and place down that wood. And then I'm going to follow suit on this side. A 2-high course of wooden planks. Like so. Whoa! Whoa! Well, that worked. And I think he must have fallen from up there. So I'll have to keep that in mind when I build my retaining wall on that side. So what I'm going to do is place those like so. I actually didn't want to put this one here, did I? No, I didn't want to put that there. Okay. So the good news is that thawed out. So I can now take that and send that in to... and actually I'm going to go ahead and do that to finish off this side. This side is pretty much done. I need to put a few more fences on this side. Let me think. I didn't think to bring... Well, I don't think I have any to spare, do I? Of course not. I'm actually going to go ahead and take these carpenter's slopes and use them to finish off the road so I don't have to jump up and down here. Now, I could till the soil, but because of the potential of hostile mobs coming from that direction, there's a non-trivial chance that they'll get trampled. So I'm not going to till the soil just yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is craft myself some oak wood slabs. Just these 18 for the moment. And I'm going to lay them on top of my water channels. And that one got misplaced. Alright. And it's probably down... Yep, there it is. Alright. So go ahead and replace that. Go ahead and place the slabs on this side. Yeah. Now, next step is to actually start populating these barrels here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put wheat seeds down there. And then I'm going to have a few other types of seeds and plants that will be planted in the farm down there. But wheat's probably going to be the big one. But that said, I have... Well, I'd like to say I've hit a wrapping up point, but there is one more thing I need to do with that before I go off camera. I am going to head back to Byzantium, to the tree farm, harvest the oak wood, make sure I've got spruce wood, clean up my inventory. I have returned with oak wood and spruce wood. I'm going to go ahead and put the spruce wood on that corner. I'm going to go ahead and follow suit, actually on this corner. I'm going to go 3 high on each corner for the time being. Oh, I forgot to craft the shovel, didn't I? And that's kind of going to screw me, not having a shovel. Let's see here. I might as well grab this coal while I'm here. Oh boy. Well, I suppose the big question at this point is, am I going to have enough dirt to close this back in? And of course the answer is no. Not yet, anyway. But what I can do, at least, is get to that level there. So, the idea is I'm going to build a wooden wall, a palisade similar to what I have marking the current western border of Byzantium. Remind me between this episode and next to put a name tag in Byzantium and to assign this area a name as well. Alright, let me grab some more oak wood planks. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's going to get me up to here. Alright, and I actually think I want to go 2 higher. There we go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take my oak wood stairs and put them like so. This is effectively an anti-spider technique. The one wide walls on the side won't actually... and of course I didn't bring... well, actually that's not too bad. Now I am going to cut this acacia tree down because it's going to be in the way. It's a really tall acacia tree, probably the biggest I have seen to... And that ran my axe out of durability now. So I have to cut this whole thing down by hand. You know what? I'm just going to take care of that off camera. But I am going to make sure I have a way to get up here, at least temporarily, because I am going to need it. And while I'm at it, let me think here. So I need... I don't know if I'll need that many or if that's not going to be enough. I don't know. I do need 2 fence gates, which I'm going to go ahead and put... Let me grab my fences as well. I'm going to go ahead and put my fence gates... Hold on a minute. There we go. That works. It's possible, I suppose, for a spider to get underneath the fence gates, but I'm not sure I want to worry too much about that possibility. Yeah. Now I do have to manually take care of these 2 misplaced fences. Misplaced fences suck. I'm going to go and put dirt there so I can get up here. And I'm going to go ahead and put down my slabs. I made too many. Oh well. So be it. Better to have too many than not enough. Wait. Except that I'm not sure I have enough, even. Because what I'm going to do right now is go ahead... Actually, now that I think about it, it probably makes more sense to have this be spruce. There we go. Yeah. Alright. And then I can put slabs like so. And that should pretty much make it impervious to every mob. Hold on a minute. Yeah, let me go ahead and craft myself up 24 wooden planks. Gives me 48 of these slabs. Eat some bread before I starve. And I am going to finish this if I have to work through a mob-infested night. I will finish this. Alright? Now, I need to replace this side. And actually, you know, looking at this, it almost makes more sense to actually put the fence gates down here. Because the spruce wood columns are going to provide a significant amount of separation. Yeah. There we go. Alright. Now the question is, if I put those like so... Oh yeah, I should be able to easily get underneath them. Oh yeah. Oh nice. So, let's see here. Now I should probably try to get myself on top of these slabs at this point. So I can... Right, now that is the right place for that, isn't it? Ooh, well... I'm not sure about that. You know what? I'll go with it. Yeah, I'll go with that. That should still be more or less effective against spiders. And I do acknowledge that I do still have to light this up a bit. And let me go ahead and get rid of that misplaced slab. Thankfully, it's just the one. I'm in the water channel. So let me go ahead and finish this up here. Et voila. So now let me get these fences sorted out. There we go. Alright. That doesn't look too bad. But I might actually... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and replace the two around each of these water channels with the whatchamacallums. The spruce wood columns. Yeah, that works. That sounds like a good name for it. And I should probably position myself so that I'm inside the enclosure rather than outside, so I'm at less risk of mob attacks. There we go. That works. Now, let me take a look here. What am I going to be looking at as far as lighting goes? Let's see. With a relative shortage of lighting, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and replace number 2 and number 6 here with the planks. Looks like I need a torch there as well. Unless I go 4 as well here. This one right in the middle. There we go. There we go. And now I'm going to repeat with this channel here. And 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. And crucially, this ensures that the entire area is lit up. I'm going to leave that torch there because I don't know whether or not I need that to keep that source block melted. But in case I do, I'll leave that torch there. And the same is true for the one over there. Let's see, what's left? Right, ooh. You know what, I'll probably finish the support columns around that water channel off camera, simply because I don't actually have enough spruce wood to finish it. Yeah. Alright, well this seems pretty good. Now, with that, this does seem to be a pretty good wrapping up point, so I will see you next time, everybody.